Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to make another wire wrap bracelet bangle this time. We're going to make something like this, this time using a memory wire with 24 gauge wire and then some flat beads. Any kind of flat beads that can sit nicely on top of your bangle. And then your tools, you will need a memory wire cutter. You don't want to ruin your regular cutters. Believe me, don't try it. I have done it and I ruined my good wire cutter, so always use your memory wire cutter for these. And then some your regular flush cutters, couple like chain nose, flat nose pliers will help. And then I lost my ruler, so I stole this from my husband's stash. Just a measuring tape to measure out your the size of your bangle. So let's get started, guys. So I'm gonna take my memory wire. I learned this design from Jewel School. She made it look so easy. It wasn't easy for me to make. So we're gonna do a little bit of variation. Her coil was bigger, so it was easy to pull out and make a bigger size like this, but mine is very small. So what I need to do is I need to straighten this out a little bit. You know, with memory wire, it always coils back to a shape, but if we do this, like if you see, oh, it's, you know, it's, I guess it's losing its memory here. But I'm gonna uncoil it a little bit so that it's bigger in size and it can fit through our hand. Diameter to be about 2.5 inches wide. So about, see this coil, it's about this big. Okay, so I'm gonna put my finger there and try to make the rest of the coil about that size, and I'm looking for about 5 to 6 coils. So we are at 4. And then we're gonna make a trim right there. Okay. Now, and this is one of the annoying parts because this is what it does. It tries to go back to its shape and it's all over the place. So I want to recoil. Actually, at this point, let me get my 24 gauge wire ready to wrap it once I have all of them together. Okay, I'm gonna take a piece about 5 inches long. And then I'm gonna take my memory wire, put that in shape one more time, and I want this to be 2.5 inches in diameter, and a little bit of shape like this doesn't matter because it's gonna the wire wrap, the 24 gauge will hide that part. So again, like I said, this is the trickiest part because you want to make sure that your coils are going to be of the same size. So as you can see, they're not all sitting together, and that's what happened to me on this one. That's why it was so frustrating. Hers were sitting nice and pretty all together, but mine wasn't. And you know, this is the part that just is hard to figure out. So and then what she does is she starts her wrapping her 24 gauge where they meet here, but I'm gonna start on the opposite side because when I made this bracelet, I did what she did, but then there were spots where one of the coil would be sticking out and I couldn't get them all wrapped up, so I had to cut it so that it releases some pressure, if that makes sense. So this time, instead of me trying to coil where the two ends meet, I'm gonna do it at the opposite end, because no matter what, I'm not gonna get this all together anyway. So get your 5-inch wire, or however long you wanna cut your 24 gauge, and start wrapping so that they all stay in place like that, and wrap it tight so that they keep the shape. I'm counting my wraps here: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm gonna do the same thing. This, actually, you know what? I'm gonna 7. I'm gonna keep going here. On this side. 8, 9, 10. And I'm gonna use my chain nose plier to pull them together and straighten this out, because this will bother me when I'm working with it. It'll scratch me. So I'm just gonna, there we go. And so I have 10 loops here. I'm going to add my first bead. So this bead is a little tricky because there's a little space here. So just for this bead's purpose, I'm going to stick it up this way so that I have room to make, this way, so that I have room to make loops on this side. So I'm going to go 10 on this side as well. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that's all I could go. Okay, this is what we have so far, guys. Okay. So I'm going to have 20 wraps between each bead. So this one, we only ended up on six wraps. We're gonna get, and the longer wire you get, the fewer times you have to fiddle with the edge. So this is how much I'm gonna use for this time, and then start. And then what I like to do is, I want to start wrapping from the opposite end, so that way it is, I can push this down and it becomes seamless. The wrap becomes seamless. First wrap is always hard to start. You want to leave a little room when you're starting your wrap, so that way it's easy to go. And when you are wrapping, make sure that you're wrapping it tight, otherwise it'll start sliding like that. So we were at 6, and you don't have to have exactly 20 wraps. It's just, a good number to stick to, and sometimes it can be 21 or 22. It's just as long as you have a good spacing, regular spacing between your each bead. You know what, guys? I might might go a little more wraps between the beads, because this one, since it's in the shape is kind of like arrow, it's hiding the loops, the wraps, so it's gonna be too close together. I think we might be able to go 30 wraps in between the, again, you can come up with your own number of wraps in between your beads. This is just, you know, how I like mine. You can even go by like measuring like maybe just one inch between wraps. So however you guys want to do it, and whatever beads you want to use, as long as it's flat. 2, 3, 4. Again, it helps to hold on the side that you're wire wrapping, because that way you hold all the beads in place. Okay, so I think that's about 30 wraps right there. I'm gonna squeeze them so that you can't see the memory wire underneath. And then here we're gonna add our next bead. Okay, we have got our second bead in, and we're gonna start wrapping. So another 30 loops, and then adding the bead. So let me keep going here, guys. I don't want to bore you with showing you guys how to wrap. So I will be back when I'm ready to add the wire. Okay guys, so I have ended that wire there, and as you can see guys, this is not staying all together. So that's why I didn't want to start my wire wrapping up here, but that's okay. We're gonna keep going. I'm gonna go from this side now. This probably has about six wraps here, and then I'm gonna look at where I ended my wrap. It's facing this way, so now I'm gonna go this way just to start, so that way my wire wrapping looks nice and even. So I'm gonna go 30 wraps here, and then add my bead, and then I will show you guys when I get to the bottom part. Guys, I just want to show you one little tip here. Once you put your bead in its place, you want to make sure that you're wrapping the wire the same way you started with. So I put my bead in, and then since I'm going this way, my wraps are going this way, I need to make sure that my wrap after my bead is going that way too, so that your bead doesn't stays in place. Okay, so I'm gonna keep going here. Okay guys, so as you can see, this one right here, this wire right here is curving out of shape. Oops, sorry. I'm going to give it a trim in the middle and relieve that pressure. And now we'll just keep wrapping until we get to the end. I'll be back. Well, I'll show you guys once I get to this side how it looks when we're wrapping. One thing I want to show you guys here, I am about 25 wraps here. Even though I have leftover wire, I'm going to trim it, because before I put in another bead, I need to have enough wraps before I go on. So I'm going to finish this one here, and then start 5 wraps and then my bead. Okay guys, so I have my 5 loops in place, and then now I'm going to add my bead. is this way. Okay, now since we have these ends here, that's gonna be, let's see what's gonna stick out here. Okay, so I don't want these ends to be under the bead. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to cut them. This one will be fine, we'll be able to wrap it. This one right here is going to be under this bead, so I'm gonna trim it up to here, so that way this ends in our loop rather than ends under our wraps instead of the bead, because this may get stuck or scratch someone. So let's see, is there anything else? No, I think everything else we can, maybe this one too. Everything else we can catch in our wraps. Okay, one more trim here. And then we're gonna continue wrapping. So I just want to show you guys, oh, let's make sure I'm wrapping the right way. I'm holding the memory wire really tight there so that it stays in place and that we catch the ends. Okay. Point we're at about 12 wraps. And as you can see, we are approaching the wire ends. I'm holding them in place so that we don't miss them while we're wrapping. It just blends in smoothly. You can't even tell when you started wrapping the new wire, a wire that had the ends. I'm gonna put them together. To make sure, especially at this point, that the wraps are tighter. And we're almost approaching the part where we put our bead in again. But I think this time I really want to, you know what? I want to wrap this one up before I put the bead in place. So I'm just going to keep going until we wrap that end of the wire, memory wire, and then we'll add a bead right there. One more. And here we are. you can just wrap until we get to this edge here, trim, and that's pretty much it. And then when you are finished, make sure to run your hands and make sure that all the wires are tucked in so that it's not going to scratch anyone. There we go. And so this is what we have here, guys. What do you think? In terms of the diameter, it came up to be a little more than 2.5 inches, but that's fine. It's easy to take it off and put it on. So I'm really happy with how this turned out. I'm so happy to learn this from Jewel School. Someday, hopefully, I can make it like she does, because she doesn't wire wrap all the way around. She only does it like a little bit where she's adding the bead. But since my memory wire coil wasn't sitting all together nicely, I had to go all the way around, and this took about an hour to make. But really worth it. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you. Bye for now.